There is a country right now pulling in more foreign investment than it has seen in a century. Its stock market is beating every one of the 10 biggest markets on earth. It's up more than 40%. Inflation falling. It's tied with Switzerland as the most loved nation on the planet. $183 billion just poured across its border. And because my audience from this country is large and loud, you already know who I'm talking about. Canada. You know, the country that the president sneers at as the 51st state. And Canada is the one that's running the table on the entire planet. And the punchline, the joke of all of this, the absolute chef's kiss, is that they can blame Donald Trump for all of their success. Bloomberg's Matt Winkler, a man who's been following money since before some of you guys were born, laid it out this way. Money is pouring into Canada like we have not seen from everywhere. So I've got to ask, who's driving this? Well, since Prime Minister Mark Carney, who got his bachelor's degree in economics from Harvard, a master's and a doctorate in economics from Oxford, since he took office, Toronto Stock Exchange has outperformed Wall Street. They've outperformed the entire Eurozone. Everybody. And his degrees, by the way, are just the start. Rhodes Scholar, ran the Bank of Canada through one global crisis, then ran the Bank of England, the first non-British citizen to do it in 300 years, through another. Canada, you guys hired him for one reason. It's because the neighbor started threatening to annex his house. But the result has been the funniest own goal of the century, because Trump has spent the last year plus ranting about making Canada a state. And yet 40 million Canadians have sat upright in bed and said, you know what? Enough nonsense. We're electing the most overqualified adult on the continent, effective immediately. Because without Donald Trump's threats, Mark Carney probably never gets the job. So MAGA's greatest enemy was essentially hand-built by MAGA.
And he's somebody who does the work. And that's sort of what Canada is about. He does the work, whatever the work is. And Canadians like that. They like people who have integrity, commitment, and gratitude.
And Winkler delivers a great explanation for this boom, by the way. Quote, he does the work, whatever the work is, and Canadians like that. He says that about Mark Carney. He does the work. Those are 4 words that have never once been spoken within a mile of a Donald Trump property. Because while one guy was out golfing and posting, the other guy flew to every trading partner on the map and signed deals. Oh, and when Canada made the biggest military purchase in its history, up to 12 new submarines, didn't buy from America, they bought from Germany. And that had over 50% public approval. Meanwhile, Trump issued his tariffs, but all it did was hurt Americans. And then Taco Trump had to exempt Canadian oil and electricity from his own trade war because without them, half of America goes dark. Donald Trump declared economic war on his closest ally and then wrote a hall pass to himself to keep buying their power. And yeah, the retaliation, it's landing on American voters, while Canadian provinces, they yanked American booze off the shelves. California wine is dying. Distillers are watching their biggest customers just stop. It's insane because it hurts us, not you guys up there. And for you, my Canadian viewers, the analytics, when I look, they say that you guys are my best subscribers on this channel. What's the boom look like from the inside? Because for the Americans, our economy sucks. We can't afford anything. I want you guys to brag about Canada and your economy. Do that in the comments right now. Because if it were up to me right now, I would find a fix in America for grocery prices, and then I would next find a Congress that actually votes on things. But I want to hear what's going well for you guys in Canada. And look, credit where credit's due. Hat tip to a gloriously profane Australian Substack. You guys should all go follow it. And I wish I could quote all of this, but this Substack is called I Love Australia, and they gave the best write-up of all of this. And I genuinely can't read most of it, but the human tariff schedule with a comb over is like the best Trump nickname I can give right now. So go check that out. But anyway, Winkler says that Canada's secret is nothing flashier than, get this, reasonable policies. My God, it's crazy that not being crazy actually works. 18 months of not threatening anyone, not tariffing anyone, not posting at 3 a.m. And it's amazing. You do that and the entire world lines up to hand you its money. Being a functioning adult is now so rare among major economies that it trades at a 40% premium. And the best line out of all of this from Winkler, this one should be cross-stitched and hung on every wall.
And the Mark Carney factor here, is it all him or is it the Liberal Party?
Canadians are like hobbits. They'll save the world for you. You know, they're consistently underestimated. Carney has consistently been underestimated, certainly by Trump and his enablers.
Quote, Canadians are like hobbits. They'll save the world for you. They're consistently underestimated. Carney has been consistently underestimated, certainly by Trump and his enablers. Hobbits, folks. Polite, unassuming, chronically underestimated, and somehow always the one still standing when Sauron blinks. Trump looked north and he saw them as a doormat. But it was a Rhodes Scholar with 2 central banks on his resume and 40 million people who decided, we're going to lock in and go elbows up. So Canada, sincerely, do you have room for one more on the bandwagon? I'm asking for about 330 million of us. And hey, by the way, independent media, we run on the same fuel as that Aussie Substack. So your likes, your comments, your follows, your shares, that all helps. So toss one in for us and do the same for any outlet that is still independent and doing the real work.